Welcome to the Beat Goes On podcast. We are talking about St. Louis and the St. Louis gals.
Yes, we got to go.
Yeah, so we went to do the Get Rooted Plus package. Danielle and Lisa signed up later last year for the Get Rooted Plus package. However, with that package, part of the package, we do fly to you and do training in person, but it's more than just spray tan training. So it was important for them to get their feet wet, use the website, train through the website, just like you would the Sprouted or the Rooted package. Get acclimated with the machine, the pro site, the training site, the products, start, the footwork of getting clients, get your website built. When you do get Rooted, you get a website, a booking system, and Danielle assists with the Google My Business page. So what I'm saying is everything is set up for your business when we arrive. So then we set a date. We advertise 2 weeks prior to getting there, 2 to 4 weeks, depending on the demographic and the time of year. So we were advertising in St. Louis prior. And then we show up and we do our thing. We create content with them. We sharpen their spray tan skills. We run an ad for them. We give a day of free spray tans away. So you're introducing the product to the community. I think the biggest thing of that day, we'll go back in a minute and tell like some of the hiccups. But it ended up going very smoothly, which is, I'm true to my nature, will stress because I want everything to be great for these women when they're, expecting Beettan to come and help with their business. We had some hiccups along the way, but the day of actually ended up going very smoothly. We had a good crowd show up. But don't you think like the biggest plus wasn't them seeing how we spray tan or how we market, even though those are huge. I think like the interaction with each client, how we explain, they got to see firsthand how I interact with the client.
Yes.
Because there were some newbies who had never been sprayed. All of them had never used Beettan. So they got to see how, I have a very successful spray tan business in Savannah. I'm also the company owner, so I know a lot.
You're also like the knower of everything. Yeah. Like any question.
Yeah, I'm the knower of everything because I help create the product. So every question that gets thrown at me, I have an answer for. So it's really good for the new sprayers to experience that. Now, so that was my favorite part. And then when the person left, I could explain the products. We actually sold some of the products. So even though it was a free spray tan day, we were able to upsell a lot of the products and they could see how I did that as well. Now, what Missy was there for was to get content, but we were also coaching them on how to use their digital platforms and how to create content. So I think it was like super beneficial for that because they really needed help with how to maneuver, all social media pages. And then we also sent out emails, but I'll start with social media. We went step by step.
Yes. How to boost a post, how to post on TikTok versus Instagram, how to use ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And integrate that into their practices.
They were mind blown. Just like we were the first time we learned.
And I think this trip was really a good learning curve, not just for the two of them, but for you and I as well, because we obviously did the Get Rooted Plus package in Nashville with Caroline last year. And at the time, Caroline signed up and her timing didn't line up with doing the retreat, although she joined us this past winter. But before she opened in Nashville, she didn't have a lot of spray experience. So I feel like a big focus of that trip was teaching her the proper method, the amount of distance, how to get comfortable spraying. But for this trip to St. Louis, Danielle and Lisa had already attended, I believe, 2 of our retreats, and they'd gone through the spray tan education. So it was interesting to do this event.
And they had gone through all the online, which teaches
the pressure was
social
off.
Media stuff. But I think it just didn't come easy. Everyone thrives in different. So to have that hands-on with that stuff.
It was unique for us to be able to give them one-on-one time, because normally you would be going through spray tanning boot camp with them. But since they had that part down, I think it was more the marketing and the networking and the more administrative side of the business that they got that one-on-one focus, which I think now it was cool to see it all click with them because it makes sense. And I can see them being active on social media. And
then we had dinner and talk, so there were questions after. So we stayed 2 nights. Sometimes we only stay 1 night and but typically it's 2 nights in the city for whoever does the Get Rooted Plus. And from the first dinner, the questions that were asked, I think that was just breaking the ice, feeling them out, seeing like asking them questions, let them ask us questions so we know where the weakness is. Like, why are we here? What can we help you with? And then the second thing, there's some emotional stuff with it too. Like,
Definitely.
And that, I think the bond that we get with the sprayer is, what sets Beettan apart so much. Like we were really bonded with them on many things outside of just the spray tan business, but it's all relevant. Like you are the face of your business. You are the emotion behind it. And if you're having an off day, it does sometimes affect the business. So it was really good to help them and encourage them through some of their insecurities.
Definitely. And our second night that we had dinner, we had some other sprayers from like Illinois and another part of St. Louis come and meet up. And I think that was like a game changer in some ways because one, it's generating the community in that area, but also like if they have questions or if they need something, they have like a sister group close by that's not just calling HQ. So it's definitely like reinforcing our community and helping to like learn through everybody's experience.
In a whole different way. In person is just, so much better. We do lives every Tuesday. We have videos and we've had hundreds of women successfully train. But I love that we have this option for the Get Rooted Plus. We now have it as an add-on where you can, if you did the Get Sprouted or the Get Rooted and, couldn't afford the Get Rooted Plus, it wasn't in your budget, or you wanted to see if you could do all this on your own, you can add it later. And I think that I feel like if even years, even years later, just there's something we said having the HQ team, the company owner and team come in and just kind of give you a facelift of your business.
Yeah, a glow up, if you will.
Because we found that like with our knowledge, I bring someone who is skilled at something I am not at. Missy's very good at digital, social media, videography, photography. And she's really calm and patient with teaching that. For me, it just came to me one day. Like I had to learn through trial and error. So we're trying to help them skip and navigate, which we were able to do with them.
Yeah. And I think a big observation that I found meeting with the ladies was like, as I mentioned before, their spray tan knowledge was like pretty on point from going to the retreats and training. But the product knowledge, I think, was the biggest like wedge between them and feeling that flow talking to customers. So like, we kind of put them on the spot and made them do some exercises where like I pretended to be a customer.
In between customers, we utilize the time to do some role playing.
But I will encourage everybody who's like on the Beettan team, or if you're a sprayer, like please be up to date on your product knowledge, because that's a way to like upsell products to customers who like may not come back immediately for a spray, but also it just like helps you conversate and make informed like decisions on what formula you're going to use. Like what's the occasion they're getting a spray tan for? Like, oh, you're going on vacation. Maybe you should buy some tanning mousse, this, and that. Like we had a lot of women who like weren't familiar with Beettan at all. So like, trying to teach our two ladies how to get the customer up to speed. They had not used
some of the products.
Exactly.
So again, like they are more about in-person training. So even though everything's there on the website, it can be overwhelming where some people zip right through it. There's no right or wrong. It's just we're all built differently and learn differently, and theirs was in person. So they were able to see me explain every single product. We role played some. They actually heard me talking. So the free spray tan day that we show up and do, by the way, Beettan brings all the product for the spray tans. So, and then we help you sell your product that came in your kit. So that's really huge because, you can use your solution to make money when we leave, but we're showing up to introduce. So you get to see the client's reaction, how we interact with them, how we deal with before, during, and after. Because even after we went to lunch, after the whole free spray tan day, we went to a late lunch and we sent everyone a thank you email and a thank you text for coming in for their free spray tan and offered them a discount to come back again. And remember, we found because of us being able to interact, with the locals. One of the locals was a business owner.
Yep.
And they were able to get some info. So it was not just spray tan and dealing with the client. We were actually doing some local marketing and showing them how we network in our city. And we were able to network with one of the women who owns a local business, the neighborhood they knew of a space for rent. So these gals
lining up for them to maybe have a new location.
Brick and mortar in a very desired neighborhood where there's no one doing what.
Yeah.
There's
And
no one doing spray
these
tans.
customers that came to the event literally just saw a boosted post on Instagram. Or, we obviously did it a couple of weeks prior, but they just came to this free spray tanning event not expecting to be networking and taking a step further.
Yeah, we networked. And then the best part is the end. Their brains are about to explode towards the end of the spray tan day because we're teaching them. We taught them so much.
There's a lot of information.
Yeah, we poured a lot of information into them. But I think like the end was so fun. So two of the other Missouri and Illinois, two gals nearby, the actual St. Louis. So we did the event in St. Charles. So technically we were doing St. Charles.
Yeah, like a suburb of St. Louis.
Yeah, so about 30 minutes away is Tara. She's been with us since 2020. She came to have dinner. So she was able to tell her side of things based on this demographic, which is a similar demographic.
Exactly.
That was great. And the same thing with Jessica. She's in Illinois and they are business partners, but they're in two separate areas. So they came together and, they shared experience, advice based on the location from a part-time perspective. I think like Lisa
she works in a hospital.
Yeah, Lisa works in a hospital and Danielle is more full-time with it. So it was good to get perspectives of other sprayers that started, that it's not just our perspective, like how they learned, what things were challenging to them. And then we all just had fun.
Yeah, and I think even the having fun was so fun. Good learning experience.
We were hugging, there were tears.
Yeah, everyone was so excited to take that time and be with each other. And like, I hope that group, since they live so close, can keep in touch.
And I think that just that like bonding, what sets Beettan apart. This was not the vision in the beginning. In the beginning, when I started Beettan, I just wanted to teach people how to spray tan. Well, I didn't see it going this far. Then I, had a spray tan solution. Rachel Nelson was my very first spray tan partner. She was in LA at the time. She's moved back to Georgia since. But, I taught her and she was my guinea pig. And then I think my second was like Suzanne Brinson. Then my third was Brookwater. Then it kind of came in flow. Like a ton of people from Georgia signed up. And then I had the random LA. That was so funny. And then I had like Darien and Washington. It was so random. But the reason I'm saying that is in the beginning, I would teach the spray tan and then I would answer questions through phone calls.
Yeah, they'd be hitting you up directly. This was before you had your website and their training videos.
So they would come to me and train, or I would FaceTime with them like it was very new and fresh. Now the company's grown. We've got 20 total products. Back then we had 2. So we've got a whole system now, but what really has set us apart is the community. And the community really came about during COVID.
Yeah.
When everyone was shut down, we had to we came together, we talked about who's allowed to do, some people were open, some people were still in quarantine where other states were not. That's where the community bonded. That's where we came up with the affiliate program so you could sell the retail through the website. That's where because we were locked up in quarantine, we built a training site on a whole different platform back then, but we started to build an online platform. We actually started to sell more spray tan certifications because I think people were coming up with a plan when they came out.
They just wanted something to do.
They wanted something that was there. So actually that spiked. And the affiliate program really spiked because people were able to sell the retail and still make some income, which was great for branding for Beettan. Now where we are, the community is so strong. The products speak for themselves. The business model speaks for itself. The money is there to be made. But I always say, then what? like then we all get stuck because it's just who we are. So now there's a community to coach you and guide you through those little hiccups, life hiccups, business hiccups, economy hiccups, like weather. Like we've been shut down for hurricane, snow. So now you have a complete support system. But this trip specifically just touched my heart because at one point I sat back and I looked at the karaoke place. We were having the best time, and these women felt encouraged and pumped up, and they had, the support of women in this side of the country in the Midwest to support. And we came from Georgia, from HQ.
Yeah.
And I just sat back and looked, and it was just so, you've never seen a spray tan CEO sitting out there acting like a monkey. I mean, I was acting like a wild animal.
You were.
We were having cocktails, singing karaoke, but we were bonding. It was like we knew each other forever.
Yeah.
And I know that's what makes Beettan so special.
Yeah. And I do want to give like Lisa and Danielle a lot of credit, or Tara and Jessica too. Like we went out and got dinner, and then we were like, let's go to a karaoke bar. And like, that's not something that's everybody's vibe. And like getting up in a place where you don't know anybody is very intimidating. But I feel like everybody kind of like broke out of their shell. You and I are a little different. Like we just went up there and had fun. Yeah. But like, I think outside of just like the spray tan education and like getting to network and build your business, we also just do experiences where you like step out of yourself for a night and do something different. And like, I think being able to embrace changes like that is so good for like your mind and your, headspace.
Yes.
That I think it's
like
definitely
learning all of that and then just letting loose was a part.
Yeah.
It's like
really
we
shook things up for them, but I think it's going to make them more open to trying new things and it's just breaking through. We get stuck in habits in our daily lives.
And it's fun. Like owning a business can be fun. There's a lot of stress, and I mean, I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of things that come with it. There's no easy business, but I will say that there's a lot of fun that comes with it too. And having, being together and sharing the fun, the good, the hard in person is just so special. I hope that we get more of those packages. We love to come and meet everyone in person. Carolina and Nashville was so fun. Like that one, we took advantage of like making content for Beettan because Nashville's just such a big city, and we were, so we kind of went all out with that one. But even still, this one we ate at a very nice restaurant.
Yeah.
We stayed at a nice area. But we'll talk about that too. So we'll talk about the hiccups. So
the pits of our trip.
So I'll tell you one thing. We don't quit around here at Beettan. Like sometimes tariffs are a real thing. Shipping is a real thing.
Weather is a real thing.
Weather is a real thing. So like even now, like we have a different spray tan solution bottle because we're not going to not get our girls our spray tan solution. We just temporarily put it in another bottle. So what I'm saying is like, you got to be able to pivot, persevere. You got to be resilient. So this trip explains that to the T. So before we got there, excuse Princess is talking.
So
before we got there, Danielle had some family stuff. So Danielle was dealing with family stuff. Lisa works at the hospital. So I'm trying to get everything together because when we advertise, we need to advertise from and include their social media page. So we need access to go into your social. Yeah, we've got to collaborate so that if we do the ad from Beettan, it's not going. We want it to be focused on you and your social media page. So we weren't able to get into it because they were really busy. I went ahead and started running ads from Beettan, but eventually we got that taken care of. And it was just not because they didn't want to, they didn't understand what we needed because they were not social.
Yeah, they're not social savvy
at all yet. So it didn't click, and then it did. So like no one was in trouble. It just took a little longer than we had anticipated, which is fine.
Yeah, or that's the whole point of us coming to help.
So we pumped a little more dollars behind, which was included in the Get Rooted Plus. Like we pumped some more dollars behind getting the ad in front of people, which essentially is just more money so that they show it to more people.
Yeah.
So we pumped a little more money behind that to make sure people got there. Well, I'd say like a month before, we had the date plan, the flights booked to go, the hotel booked, and we had to change the address of the place. Something happened to the original spot, the brick and mortar they were going to build. A car ran through it.
Yeah, a lady.
I didn't realize a car had ran through it. Maybe they said that to Danielle. I somehow didn't get the memo, and no one at HQ, Danielle, did not tell me the severity of what happened to the situation. So in my head, I'm like, oh, they got a better location. Boom. Right. I got the address of the location. What really happened as we got closer, I sent Missy the invite to the flyer to their launch party where we're sending out, and we noticed that it said Danielle put pet shop at the bottom of the ad, and I was like, pet shop? We're doing free spray tans at a pet shop? So then I call, and I realized it's because a car had plowed through their brick and mortar, and their very dear friend who owns a pet salon,
like a groomer,
they were closed that day, and offered to give them their whole commercial space in a commercial space in a great area. And he cleaned it so good for them. But anyway,
very short notice.
I was like, we're having it at a pet shop. So Michelle Peth freaks out a little bit. So we take pet shop off. We just do the address. We bring all of our stuff that we would normally set up at a trade show to make the space look fabulous. So we get there. We have a big step and repeat in front of where it says pet shop. We changed the ad to the address only. Let me tell you guys, no one cared that it was there.
Yes.
When we told the story of why, it was almost like a more endearing, like all the women that showed up to get the free spray tan, we chuckled that it was in a pet shop. And they cleaned it so well, like the foyer
we were just using
so
like
nice.
The front mostly, and then like one back.
Yeah, it was just a nice commercial space. But I was like, oh my gosh, because again, I went into mama mode, and I really wanted this to be fabulous for them.
Yeah,
and us make the best of it, and we did. So that's a lesson learned. For a pop up, you don't always need.
Yeah, this was a big lesson for us.
Yes.
You know, that it's kind of, there's 1,000 reasons why you shouldn't do something, but really with Beettan and our setup and your business model, like you can essentially
you could do it at a pet shop.
Everywhere, you know,
so
like
that's a first. In all my years, I've never set up in a pet shop, but it worked out just fine. And it didn't Sometimes deter you just people. Need a space and an address for people to go to. And everybody showed up, and we made it look really nice. So it sounds worse than it is. It actually we've been posting videos. It was so fun and so nice.
Yes.
The other hiccup was I don't know the St. Charles, St. Louis area. So when I booked the hotel, we get there, and I'm trying to be positive, but when we drop our bag, first of all, we get to St. Louis so early.
Yeah, we did like
I'm
a 6 a.m.
why did
flight.
I do this early flight? I think probably for pricing, or I wanted to get there. If you know me, you know, like I don't half-ass anything. I like get there, like I'm all in. Now, because I'm all in and do 10 things at once, sometimes things get overlooked. I just overlooked something this week about flights. So, sorry.
Well, it's a lot. There's a lot of moving parts to an event like this.
Right.
And it's
so
okay.
we book the hotel. I book it through, I have an account with like booking.com or something. So I get a discount. And
so we Uber from the airport, and we get there, and we're early, and they had a room for us, and we were like, wow, this is
they were letting us check in early. We were like,
place,
I'm talking about like way earlier, like 10 a.m. early. Like who lets people check in at 10 a.m.?
Well, people weren't staying at that hotel, so there were a lot of open rooms. So they were like, come right in. Or
they just didn't clean it because our room was not clean.
Yeah, it
was a pretty rough hotel. So I was like, whatever. Missy was such a trooper about it. Missy has family there, so her aunt picks us up. I utilize having someone know the area. She drives us. She picks us up, and even she's like, well, there's an abandoned hotel next to it. So
I know.
She's
like,
she was wondering if we were even in there.
Are you girls in there?
So, luckily we got there early enough to handle this situation, because had we been like, drop the bags, hit the road, like we could.
Yeah, we would have had to stay there.
So her aunt took us to lunch, but while we were at lunch, she drove us through Westport.
Yeah,
in St.
Westport
Charles.
Plaza.
And I immediately they were up there like catching up, and I was booking the new hotel.
Yeah.
And then her aunt picked us up, or like helped us move to the new hotel, and we were much happier. It ended up being like a European style.
Yeah, a chalet.
It was a cute hotel, and it was walking distance to everything we did the whole weekend.
Yeah, and that was a cool area. There was like a big square with like all these bars and restaurants, and you could like walk from the hotel.
And the last night, like Jessica stayed with us at the hotel, so because she was from Illinois, so her drive was further, and we ended up.
We wanted her to stay.
Yeah, she could have Ubered, but it would have been an expensive Uber to get back, and so we were like, just stay. So me and Missy bunked up. So, we're not just there. We're there to bond with, and I think again that's what sets Beettan apart. Like, I don't just want to teach you how to spray tan and make money. Like, I want to know who you are. Why? What is your why for doing this? I know my why, and a lot of times they are connected. Like you want something for yourself. Every person that has signed up to start this spray tan business, their why isn't because they want to be tan. Their why is because they want something for themselves, and they like the program and the training that we have. And then sometimes life happens, and they like the support system that they have there. You can buy a spray tan kit off of Amazon, but you don't have
hundreds of people
to support you, and also a product that you can. I just got a text about somebody that accidentally paid with the wrong card. I sent them to Danielle because she handles that, but the customer service and the support is unheard of, and we're actually missing that a lot these days.
Yeah, definitely. And I think too, like this brand and joining as a certified partner, it's like unlocking a new lifestyle opportunity as well. I think like you do a really good job with business coaching and setting women up for success so that they can like run their own business, have financial independence. That's all very validating for anyone in any walk of life, just trying to like level up. And so I think offering that in a community of women who like understand and who are like rooting you on, and like you get to talk online, but then there are opportunities to meet up in person. There's a lot of like, sisterhood's kind of an understatement for this, but it's very special because like you're not just signing up to spray tan. It's an opportunity and a lifestyle that a lot of people are missing and want in life.
Right. And a lot of women that have signed up with Beettan have tried network marketing, MLM style, those structures, which a lot of the times don't make you a ton of money. They love the community aspect of it.
Yeah.
That's why we join clubs. That's why we're part of golf clubs, tennis teams, pickleball. Like there's all these things. So that is what I wanted to bring in to this business, because after years of teaching spray tanning, I'd be like, where'd they go? What's happening? And so we kept adding levels of community style support and training. Also, what that does is create confidence for the sprayer.
Yes.
They can be more confident behind the product, because if hundreds of women that you have access to speak to are having success with this brand, with this product, that gives you confidence. So when you have an issue with the client, because that's the nature of the beauty business, you have a support system so that you can not only do you have training, you don't have to Google it and it sends you 10 other brands and you have to compare it. You don't know the answer for the client. You have the same product, the same machine, the same tent, and the same style of everything. Everyone's using the same thing. And so when you come to that hiccup or that issue, you can just put in a little message to the Facebook group.
Yeah. Perfect example that you didn't ask for. I remember one time I was going on a trip and you were busy. So I asked Amy, one of our spray tanners who's based in Pooler, to come and spray me. And I told her, I was like, I'm getting on a plane in like 4 hours or 6 hours or something. So I don't think I can use the OG. And so then it's funny because I was like, I think I need level up. And then I saw on the Beettan partner page, she was like, posting to the group, like, I've had my level up for a few months. Like, how do I know if it's still good or not? And like, there was 10 people who like that immediately answered. And what's funny is like, she doesn't know that I have access to that page, but I knew that she was
asking
looking in because I had
Missy's a part of the HQ team, but that is what that page is about. That way you can get an answer for your client. And it probably was later in the evening, so HQ was closed. So that's the whole purpose. I didn't want some customer service person that was paid. I want the people using the product, the machine, to answer the questions. There are great spray tan forums out there. There's like Tan Bible. There's another one on Facebook. They are wonderful, but there are hundreds of other products. This is solely for this brand, this product.
Plus, your product is like a universal color match versus those are all different, like colors and bronzers. You need to like
all
mix
different
things
ingredients,
in to
colors,
customize.
bronzers, all different base ingredients. Some are alcohol based, some are water, some are everyone's using the same thing. And then on top of that, there are different machines. It doesn't matter what you put in the machine. If the machine sprays completely different and puts more of the active ingredient in the product on the person's skin, they're going to have a different result. So everyone's using the same thing. And that really has made a difference. I see that people rush through learning.
Yes.
It's a quicker process and it's a very forgiving product. So there's that. But also when you do like what if you end up with someone with psoriasis or eczema, vitiligo, like you have a team, a support system to ask a simple question.
A room of people who have pretty much seen it all. And one big takeaway I am going to say, or like an observation, is when it comes to like interacting with your customer, especially someone who's new or hasn't had a spray tan with Beettan, to all the partners out there, make sure that you know how to articulate how our product works, what the active ingredient is, and how it has like a chemical reaction with your skin to customize to their skin tone.
Color correcting additives, aloe, which is a natural pH balancer.
Exactly. But making sure that like you're comfortable talking in and out through that, because like that's the huge selling point. And that's what's going to make people want to come back, because like they don't get all that context prior to coming.
And it is harder to spit off. And I think that's why the level up, the Get Rooted Plus, it was really good, because when we come and we give an entire day of free spray tans away for you in your area, it's client after client after client. They're clients, even though it's free, because we're putting them in your booking system.
Yeah.
And we're in front of you. We're giving them a spray tan. So you get to see firsthand how we deal with each client before they walk in the door to get the spray tan. You know, we're sending, some people were like texting. We had put our phone number on there, so they were texting before they came. So we'd give them tips prior to coming. We would take walk-ins. So some people we just like prepped beforehand, and then we would spray them. They would hear all of the advice. They would hear, you know, how we explain the science. And after so many in that in person, like there's no way Danielle and Lisa didn't get it, because they heard it. It was so repetitive that they heard it. Just like starting a new job, when you hear something, once you said it and heard it a few times, it rolls off the tongue, rather than reading it and trying to figure out how to say it. Does that make sense? And
I would definitely recommend like trying some of these products firsthand, because like your opinion and your recommendation goes a long way. And like if you have a good knowledge of the product, there's ways that you can utilize those products to like fix problems, to help the customer if they're like going on a vacation and can't come back and get sprayed. You know, like it's not just upselling it to profit and make more money off of your inventory.
They serve a great purpose.
There is a way to like mix and match, and like not a formula per se, but there is a way to like work these products to your advantage and to like give them the best, longest spray tan that they can have.
And it gains their trust, because all the products work well for the better good of the tan. So it's creating trust, but it's also creating sales, and then it's creating a regular
and it's going to make them want to come back. You know, like spray tanning is very vulnerable. Like if you're getting naked and getting sprayed and you don't know what the outcome's going to be, but like as the sprayer or the host of these events, like you have the power to set the tone. So like, you know, that was a big learning curve too, telling them that like, you got to bring that excitement when somebody walks in, and you got to be like, hey ladies.
Yeah,
like,
they were nervous. If you're nervous, then they're going to be nervous too. So, you know, this type of training is very special. So there's Dolce Glow, there's Scholle, there's Norvell. There are companies. There's Perfect Glow. What they do is they go to an area. I think Dolce Glow charges $1,500.
Right.
Does not include any. It does not include any product, any kit. It is just the training. She's gone viral. She's spray tan celebrity. So she's done really good at public relations. I'm not a brand basher. There's nothing wrong with this. I'm just explaining the difference. She shows up, and because she's made a name for herself, because she's sprayed celebrities, they're just people too. But what she does is she go to an area, and because of her status, meaning like because she's spraying celebrities in her name,
yeah,
her
or she's become like an influencer in some ways.
She's very much an influencer. Thank you. Saved me there. So she charges $1,500 to go into an area, and she sends a massive. So let's say she's going to Chicago. She would do an advertisement. People would sign up and pay. So there's anywhere. I've never been to hers, but I'm guessing at least a few people show up. And she probably charges $1,500 because she's got to at least have one that's got to pay for her to end up in Chicago. So I'm sure there's a price tag like that. So then she gets there, and all you learn is spray tan, the science behind spray tan. Spray tan, that's it. I think it's a couple of hours with her. You get a spray tan. She has models. She probably also does an advertisement to find models, or she brings a team with her. I'm not sure. So there's that. You learn how to spray tan. You leave with a Dolce Glow spray tan certification. Perfect Glow is the same thing. Perfect Glows is around, I think $200 to $300 that I remember. Same thing. She shows up. She has her own product line as well. She shows up. She does a lot of contouring and a lot of like body. She can do competitions. She does a lot of competition style spray tan. However, she does like, and again, not bashing the brand. She's based out of Florida. Dolce Glow is based out of California, but they show up and they do these training days. So usually from looking at the videos that they post, like Perfect Glow usually has a bigger classroom because it's more affordable. But again, no product. I think they give like a sample of Perfect Glow spray tan solution. So there's that. And then the others, they charge a big fee for you to come. And again, it's just spray tanning.
I get the business model of that, but
you're also like sitting in a room with competitors.
It feels like a cattle call. If that makes sense. Call. And once again, this is not brand bashing. It's just a different vibe.
What if 90 people show up in Chicago? Then you have 90 people that you know are also going to be spray tanning in that area. So we don't oversaturate an area. We do. I have 7 other sprayers in just the Chatham County. I have 12 if you do the Savannah and surrounding. There is enough to go around, but you don't want to oversaturate an area. Like you don't want to have 50 other sprayers.
But you don't want people competing with each other to get the clients. It's more of,
there's a fine line between competing and then community. So we promote more of a community, but we do individual. So where I was going with that was they're only learning spray tanning. Then what? Then they have to go. So then they leave this and they're pushed towards the Dolce, the Perfect Glow, the Scholle. They're pushed towards that product line, which by the way, can be purchased without that certification from anyone. So you can purchase it without even learning how to spray it from anywhere. It's not a private site. A lot of them, Norvell, Scholle, Perfect, they're all on Amazon. The spray tan solutions are easily purchased online. So anyone can purchase the spray tan solution. Then when you leave there, you have to figure out what gun, what machine you're going to use, what the other products are going to do. So you've learned how to spray tan. Now what?
That's putting a lot of like assumption onto the customer or the person like going through the program too. Like I think something that Beettan's really excelling at is like providing and offering the next steps, knowing all of your equipment, all the equipment's
in our training site,
universal.
It's included. Our lowest one is $1,750, and that's the kit. Again, it includes the machine that we're teaching you on.
Yeah, and
if
that
you
can
learn
be made
on a
back.
Norvell machine or a Perfect Glow doesn't have a machine. I think they use Maximus. But if you're learning on this machine and you leave there and you purchase a different machine, the training that you just learned, so everything matches, and everyone is using the same thing. So the training is therefore after is continuing ed on spray tanning, but also on the business. What booking system should you use? We've got an accountant in our community. Hit her up, ask her a simple question. Should I do sole proprietor? Should I do this? It's not, and none of that is extra. The only thing that's extra is if you want a website, a booking system, if you get stuck there, we have a kit that comes with our second, comes with your website, your booking system, your Google My Business, 2 tents, a machine, your spray tan solution, your retail line. And then the third one is you get everything in the second package, but we also plan to fly to you and do extended education. It's not just flying. We give you some time to learn how to spray tan on your own. And then we show up to sharpen all those tools it's like,
we put them into play.
We put it into play. We don't just show up and show you how to spray tan. We come in and you've gotten your feet wet with the business, and we come in and supercharge it. Like that's the best way.
Exactly. Or
like a childish way of saying that.
These events are like not a spray tan party, but.
And our training includes the kit and the product that you're learning with.
Yes.
So that is what sets us apart. It's a community, it's support, it's a kit. And we don't openly sell our solution to anyone.
Yeah.
So your clients can't go find the solution, buy a machine, and try to use the same thing. You are different. You're high end. You are fresh, and you are completely supported, which I think creates way more confidence. There are so many people who picked a spray tan business up and put it down from being discouraged and the inconsistency. Because if it's not fresh, it's inconsistent. The active ingredient breaks down, but that's a whole nother podcast. But I'm 20 plus years in the business. I've tried all of the other products. I've used several machines. I narrowed it down to this based on my experience, and I just simplified it. And that is why I think we have such a loyal community of people who stick with the brand, because it's just simplified and it's simpler and they have support.
Yeah, I think the product and the application is very simple, and then you have everything laid out for their business.
And then their clients can go buy it off Amazon and spray themselves.
Yeah, and I think
their husband spray.
I think it's a product that somebody new who tries it always. I don't want to speak for like everyone, but like they always end up excited about it. And like, there were so many people at that event who got, Beettan for the first time and were like, we want to throw a party.
People who get spray tan often in St. Charles, they were like, oh my gosh, this is better. This smells better. This looks better. So your clients are going to love it.
Exactly.
I think the bigger picture here is, and we'll wrap it up. The bigger picture here is the in-person was so much fun for us. We get as much out of it as you do. Another thing is the community involvement with Beettan. Not only do we support you, you support us here at HQ. We get the feedback of the new products. We get to see what you're thinking. We get to interact with you. We have one product that's out right now because we're only human. We have something that's a little harder to get at the moment. So we're able to request other things to upsell until we get this back in. If you go to other websites, if you go to other spray tan websites, they have things out of stock too. Like we will communicate with you and teach you. It's a different vibe than most companies out there in general, but we are the only spray tan company of our kind.
Yeah. And I think it was very special to like go on this trip with you again and to see like a group of women who had like the best attitudes and were like trying to wrangle a bunch of different things with like the spray tanning, learning the digital, like Danielle and Lisa were amazing. Not once did they complain or seem overwhelmed, even though we were throwing a lot their way. So like, gotta say that was like definitely one for the books.
And I do want to read the text message that I received from Lisa when we left. Lisa said, "Thank you so much, ladies, for coming to St. Louis and helping Danielle and me with our pop-up and our launch party. It was such a success. I'm very grateful for all that you have done for us. I can't thank you enough for your amazing generosity. It was an amazing 2 days. You both have amazing souls. I hope that you know what a positive impact you're making in people's lives."
That's amazing.
That's a really good ending to today's podcast. And, our slogan is empowering women one tan at a time, whether it's the products that you're using at home that just make you feel better in your clothes and in your own skin, whether you're the spray tan client who's bonding with your spray tan artist, whether you're the sprayer of Beettan and you're empowering other women through that, or you're us here at HQ who get so much out of teaching these spray tan artists. It's all about empowerment. And I know that's a big word. It's a cliche word. A lot of people use it, but there really truly is no other word for what this company is about.
No, I agree. It's the best feeling when you're going through like the teaching and then you see it click. And then you're like, wow, they're going to like take off with
and
this.
we've got some really, Allison in St. Augustine, she did the Get Rooted. She didn't do the Get Rooted Plus. She was an ex-Rodin Fields top performer. She threw herself, she put it down and quit and then picked it back up. And now she is wheeling and dealing. Her business has completely picked up. She got out of her head and just completely went with it. And she'll text me and be like, oh my gosh, I have 50 spray tans this week. Oh my gosh, I'm spray tanning this. Oh my gosh, I have somebody who's interested in spray tanning in this city. They were a tourist. So she has ran with it. And there's Caroline who has,
oh my God, Caroline is thriving.
She's thriving. She's doing so good. There's Brookwaters in Athens. So the list goes on. And then we have some people who do it super part-time and love it as an extra little passive amount of income. They do have a studio at their house or they just pop up at their friend's salon. But it's still an extra $20,000 to $30,000 a year.
Yeah.
So, whatever level it is, it's a source of empowerment. It's a source of financial freedom in whatever way that looks, even if you just want a little extra shopping money.
Yes, exactly. So I think this was a great resource doing the Get Rooted Plus package with these ladies.
Get these gals going
so
and thriving.
If you want Michelle and I to come and do an event with you, sign up.
Yeah, sign up. If you can't find it on the website, just hit Danielle up and we will plan it. And even if you're already a partner with us and you see the value in having us come to you, you can add it on.
Yeah. And
we'll come
I think
to you.
this was a good way to explain too that like, even if you feel good about your spray tan training, there are other things that you may want help with.
You may be a little stuck with some of the business stuff, the booking app, the Google My Business, or even hosting a pop-up. You want to
like
introduce
how to shoot content. That's another.
Yeah. I mean, we do it all. It's a big launch party. So we can come your way.
Awesome. So on our next episode, I think we're going to talk about our trip to Dallas.
Yep.
Which
we are
haven't
headed
been
to
yet.
Dallas. So any boutique out there, you might want to, anyone who knows a boutique, there's a lot that we're going to cover in Dallas. So, but specifically popping up in boutiques, a boutique adding it on for extra revenue. We're going to Dallas to do a presentation for thousands of boutiques. So wish us luck.
Exciting. All right. Well, thanks for listening and thanks for having me on,
See you guys
Michelle.
next time.
All right. Bye.